Okay. The next film we have to talk about is Jeepers Creepers from
Ooh.
2001. Now,
Uh,
this is one that you actually suggested within our lineup. And watching it, I was actually surprised as to why. So I can only assume that you love this film. And please tell us why you love it and what it's about.
yeah, this was actually one of the earliest horror movies I ever remember watching. This is one of my favorite horror movies ever. It terrified me as a kid, and it still does. The Creeper is, I think, one of the greatest monsters in cinema. Um, we don't really know what it is. We just know that every 23 years it wakes up and it feeds for 23 days, which is terrifying.
Mhm.
The movie is essentially about a brother and a sister. They're driving countryside. It's I think they're coming from spring break, or they're on spring break.
Yeah, I think
Um,
what happened is that the brother is picking up the sister from
mhm. Yep,
somewhere and they're going
yep,
across the
yep, yep.
country. They have nowhere else to go. So they're going all across the country
Yeah,
land.
yeah. So they go through the countryside and they encounter like this flesh-eating winged creature, which is in the middle of its like um, ritualistic spree of feeding,
Hmm.
essentially. Crazy film, and it's paranoid me to this day. Like every time I drive, I always look in my rear view mirror to make sure like nobody's following me. You know, that big truck
Yeah, not that
isn't
fast.
isn't behind me, not that fast, exactly. And I'm telling you, it's gripping. It will never leave my mind. Jeepers Creepers is crazy, and the sequel is even amazing as well. The sequel is phenomenal. Um, yeah, it's just a great horror movie. And yeah, just that one shot of them driving and them looking at the creeper dumping whatever it is down the well, and then the creeper looking at them as they're still driving, chilling, chilling.
You know, I'm afraid I'll have to disappoint you. I liked this movie, but I didn't love it. I liked it a lot at the very beginning when things were mysterious and you didn't know exactly what was happening. And when Justin Long's character is learning more about, going deeper within the sewer. I thought those were really effective scenes at the very beginning, especially when they are on the road. You know, there's a lot of
Mm,
tension built up within that scene because they're just talking, but you do. It's very clever the way they film it because you have both of them in frame, but in the middle, there's the back road, and
oh
you
man.
don't even notice when certain things show up, because
Yeah.
you're so invested in the conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the trucks, or there's actually this one moment where the van behind them that they passed just pulls over into the middle of nowhere.
Yep.
Just pulls off the street. You don't see it, and you're just like, oh, something gonna happen.
Oh yeah.
Um, and I think that, crazily enough, that open environment is a very frightening area. I mean, it
Yeah.
it made me think twice when it came to driving long distances.
Exactly. And
Yeah,
I never want to see that truck. Like I never
no,
want to see that truck.
I'm a crash into that thing. I don't care at that point. Where the movie faltered for me was near the end when you do see this creep. It's called the creeper.
Yeah, the creeper.
You see the creeper more, and you get more of what he's coming from. I just didn't. It wasn't scary for me at that point, but I did keep going with Justin Long's performance because I think he's a very underrated actor,
Oh
and I think
man, he was so good in this.
yeah, he's really good in this, especially near the end. When
Oh yeah.
things are really ramping up. So
Yeah.
for me, he was the thing that I kept following. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't the tension or the monster itself,
Mm.
but I did like it. I did like it. I thought there were very good parts of it.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear it. I, I mean, that's just
I just deflated you. I'm sorry, man.
no, it's all good. Um, there's just scenes that will always stick with me, like when they go to the cat lady's house, and you see the creeper there, just in like the crop, in her crops or like in her garden, freaky. When he's holding the lady at the front of her door, and Justin Long and his sister are just looking like, "Are you okay?" And he's just standing there holding her dead body. Crazy. And also to me, what was really impressive is that I felt so fearful during that movie and the fact that the third act really takes place at the police department, you would think you would feel safe in that environment.
Right.
And no, to the
No.
contrary, I didn't feel safe at all. I still felt terrified. And, but I also love that the theme, and this is one of my favorite story tropes actually in horror, is the idea that fear can kill you. But if you can overcome fear, then nothing can stop you. Um, the primary example would be A Nightmare on Elm Street, with the main character, not being scared of Freddy anymore, because Freddy fears on feeds on fear as well. So does the Creeper. The Creeper feeds on fear, and for the sister to overcome her own fear, even of losing her own brother, just shows how empowering and strong that character was. That it was really cool to see them face off, and of course, when he takes the brother and takes his eyes, it's like, wow,
I,
it scares the crap out of me.
I think I would be more frightened in those moments at the very end if he wasn't shown the creeper, because his design, even though it was really cool and the makeup was really interesting, it just it kind of took me out. The way he starts flipping and jumping over when they're trying to run him over. Like oh my goodness.
Oh, dude, no, there's just something off about that though. That like there's just something off. Like
It was off.
Why is he
Belonged
weirdly
to another movie.
why is he weirdly acrobatic? Like it's just it was just off. Like it just made me
Because it turned into Army of Darkness for a second.
Yeah, what? No, but I think that's what's so cool about it too, though. Like it did have that Sam Raimi feel to it, to be honest.
Yeah, it did. Yes, it did.
And in terms of the look, that's actually one of my favorite like creature designs. Like it's so weird to look at. It's just the things on it. Like what the hell is that? Like, and when he feeds on people, like it's crazy. I don't know. I would recommend the second one to you.
Mm-hmm.
I think you would like the second one a bit more, just because it takes place entirely on a school bus, of this like football team and cheerleaders.
Oh boy.
They're driving, and what happens is the creeper slashes the tires. So most of the movie takes place in that bus. So the whole movie relies on the tension within that group. And it's really fascinating to watch because, again, with a huge group of people of like over 40 people, you would think, okay, I feel safe in this situation. Oh, hell no. No, they're not safe in it. It's a really great execution and I think tension and story within horror, which I think the seeds were planted in the first movie very well. So I would recommend the second movie. I don't know if you're too invested in the story to check it out, but I would recommend
I'll check it out
for sure.
That sounds funny. These guys in the Letterman jackets.
Oh, bro, it's crazy. But you actually do have some great character work. And also the second movie is a really great depiction of racial tension as well between the white players and the black players. So you have character work that I think is as strong as something in like Dawn of the Dead.
Well, they should just come together when this creeper dude shows up and tell him to go to the back of the bus.
Oh, just wait, my man. Just wait till you see it.
Get him back there.
It's really great. But yeah, back to the first one. One scene that always just messed me up was him grabbing the head of the police officer, and then you see him standing in front of that billboard, and the billboard says like "tastes good" or something like that, and then you see him like chew out the tongue of the beheaded police officer, and it's like, what the hell am I watching? But I love what I'm watching.
I this is pretty reminiscent of when I was telling you to watch Evil Dead. And I didn't find this scary in the way that you didn't find the Evil Dead scary. Maybe the second one can turn that for me, because, I think the lighting had a lot to do with the way I wasn't frightened of it, because it felt kind of like TV movie-ish in the way that it was it was shot, and that shouldn't matter, but there was just something there that didn't feel as atmospheric, which I'm only saying about when he actually did show up, because I think before they handled it really well when he was kept in mystery.
What did you think about when they found what was in the well, and it was just covered
with bodies? It was
bodies,
constructed with bodies. I thought that was a good use of it also. I thought it built up the mystery and the creep factor really well in that.
Hmm.
And yeah, I thought it was really effective. You know,
Nice.
it's just
Nice,
when
man.
he starts flipping and honestly, it took me out, man. I was wait.
Yeah,
It
I
did
bet.
feel, Sam Raimi-ish, but it felt more evil or Army of Darkness than Evil Dead.
Yeah, yeah. I know. I totally get that. And in Army of Dead, it's awesome, dude. The witch doing flips is like, it's like that should not be happening. That does not feel right.
I was waiting for Justin Long to become like the Ash character. I've had enough of this. You
Oh
need
man.
Ash for this creeper, dude.
Yeah, you do. You definitely did. I'd like to see that.
Yeah. Okay. So I think the movie question we have, since for me, the redeeming part of this movie was Justin Long. His
Hmm.
performance I thought was really effective, and I thought he was really good
Hmm.
as the freaked out guy who's trying to do the right thing. So, what are some performances that you could recommend of his throughout his career that stood out to you?
Oh, 100%. Dodgeball. He is a comedic force in Dodgeball. He is so damn funny. If you can catch a wrench, you can catch a ball, man. He is so damn funny in that film. There's also another movie that I watched recently or rewatched recently. It's called Idiocracy with Luke Wilson.
Right.
Uh, Justin Long has a very brief cameo in that film, but he almost steals the entire damn movie because of how funny he is. Um, but when it comes to like the dramatic turn or his performances in horror, it's got to be Tusk. It's got to be Tusk. Um,
Yeah,
he's
he's really amazing in that film.
he is phenomenal in Tusk. If I could ever give a performance like that in a horror movie, like that to me is like the standard because it's like, I mean, it's such a crazy bonkers storyline, and for him to make it so believable with just raw, just like fear and dread, super impressive, especially with because we know what Justin Long is like. I mean, we see him in those Apple commercials or those Mac commercials.
Yeah,
We see him.
in the
We've seen him.
comedies and everything.
We've seen him in comedies. Accepted is really funny, and for him to just do something so on the other end of that acting range, it's like, wow, wow, you are awesome. So, not only is it perfect for horror season, Tusk, it's also a really great masterclass in expressing fear.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Tusk, but I am a big fan of the moments that he is putting his A game into the
Oof.
camera.
Yeah,
I think those are incredible.
yeah. And
I
when he's on the phone, I don't want to die. Please, I don't want to die. It's like,
I don't want to die in Canada. Yeah.
whoa, dude, whoa, you are. That is real. That is not acting. That is real.
I think he's hilarious in the another Kevin Smith film for a brief cameo called Zack and Miri Make a Porno. he, he plays a gay porn star within it, and he does this thing with his voice where he's like more like Glenn Ross sucks balls, like he's hilarious in it. And apparently what he did to prepare for that role, he watched a lot of gay porn in
Mm.
in preparation for the role.
You got to do your research.
Yeah.
You got to do your research.
So you know what you have to do to give that type of performance, Angel.
Exactly.
Yeah, in
Exactly.
the
For all
future.
you up and coming actors. Yeah.
And I think he's also really funny in Galaxy Quest as the
Yeah.
fanboy.
Oh, 100%.
It's another range of characters that he can play where he's the
Yeah.
nerdy kid. He's like, now you see, mother, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get the class ship back home. I mean, talking like getting pushed around by Tim Allen. Oh, Commander, I see.
Dude, I love Justin Long. I love Justin Long. He's great. He is great. I'll watch anything he does.
He should play Plastic Man in a decent
Yes.
film.
Yes,
Honestly,
100%.
I think he's the guy.
100%.
Imagine a movie starring Justin Long as Plastic Man and Jack Quaid as the elongated man. Sold.
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 Take my money. Take all my money.
Take it all. Take it all. And he was also in a Herbie the Love Bug or something.
Which guilty pleasure.
The Lindsay Lohan one.
Yep.
With
That's
Michael
a guilty
Keaton.
pleasure. Yep.
Yeah.
Guilty pleasure.
I saw that in theaters and I never looked back.
It's Herbie Fully Loaded. Get it right.
Oh, okay. Herbie. It's one of those Herbie films where Michael Keaton. I can't believe Michael Keaton was in that.
Yeah, of course he was. He stars in cinema.
Just like Shark Tale and Will Smith.
The GOAT Podcast is proof you don't have to look any further for movie news, reviews, trailer reactions, or special discussions. Subscribe, get notified about what's going on, and I promise you'll be entertained by our daily content on YouTube. If you want more, we're on Twitter at GOAT Film Podcast, Instagram The GOAT Podcast, and the GOAT Movie Group on Facebook. Get connected with us, see what's happening, and make sure to love it while you're doing so.